I've started in on this PowerDriver board for a WPC 89 game, and I just wanted to make a couple of comments. See, I've started taking headers off, and all that residual solder flux I'll wash off later, but if I pan back here, you can see that somebody took the advice to run jumpers from all of the bridges and caps, etc. And besides being butt ugly, all this really proves is that whoever replaced these bridges and caps had no business replacing these bridges and caps. And the other thing that I hear frequently is, well, have you resoldered or have you reflowed all the headers? On WPC games, that does no good whatsoever. You can see that somebody's been reflowing headers here, even on connectors that aren't used, thinking that this is going to correct some kind of problem or the other, but it doesn't. All it does is add more solder so that I can get the connector off easier. So anytime somebody says, put some more solder on there, or have you reflowed the headers, just smile and go the other way. Booting up old Gnarly here now on my test rig. I call this one Old Gnarly because of all the jumpers that somebody put on the back of it. So we booted up normally, and the PowerDriver board is driving the MPU, or yeah, the MPU to do what it should be. I've got my test ROM in there, so it's driving the lamp matrix just like that. We've got some GI on. We've got the 5 LEDs that you always need to look for when you're testing these boards. 1, 2, 3. I skipped one. Oh, there it is. 4, 5. These two up here, LED 2 and 3, they're meaningless and useless. They're meant to be line voltage detection LEDs. They don't really tell us a darn thing. So let's go into the tests for the PowerDriver board, and I will get this thing cycling. A little glare there, sorry about that. I've had these test articles on my bench for a while here. This is the dumbass solenoid and flasher test, etc. aid. Whoops. Okay, let's go to flasher test, and we'll get it cycling. And there are all 12 flasher circuits. Do the general illumination, make sure it's dimming correctly, and we can see that each of the 5 strings is dimming correctly. Can do single lamps. I just fixed this on my bench. I had this thing wired. Oops. I had this thing wired wrong, and it was showing the wrong columns. Didn't really make any difference. It still tested the boards. And now I'm going to go into all lamp test. Nice. And that is it. I can show you the voltages. Is delivering. The unregulated 12 is at 15.3, and the 5 volts is 5.10, and the regulated 12 is at 11.9. So those are perfect. Now this board somebody had worked on before. They had wholesale changed out the caps and put all those jumpers on there, and they inserted a 470 microfarad cap here at C4. That's normally 100 microfarad, and there's nothing wrong with putting a 470 in there, but that cap is a important part of the 5-volt circuit. I replaced C2. You can see that, whoops, C2, where are you at? There it is. There's a little bit of corrosion from a leaky cap there, so I've repaired that, and this board is good to go. So thanks again for sending it.